Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's media availability with head coach Vicki Johnson, forward Kayla Thornton, and center Charlie Collier. First off, we have head coach Vicki Johnson. Please use the raise your hand feature, and we're going to go in the order that the questions are received. If you can't raise your hand or you don't know how to raise your hand, feel free to message me in the chat your question, ask it for you, or I can tell you to unmute and ask your question. So first off, do we have any questions for Coach Johnson? We're going to go to Ron Thulin. Ron, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Vicki. How are you today?
Good, and you?
Doing well, thank you. I got this, and we were just, and we still are on a conference call with Greg and some of the other people. And he made a great point that a year ago and 2 years ago, the Wings walked into an arena going, gosh, I hope we can stay close. Your team actually walks into an arena now and says, we can win this game. And I think they proved that, one possession game in the fourth with Las Vegas. Your feeling on that?
I feel good about it. We go into every game with the expectation of winning. It's not about what the team does, it's about what we do on both sides of the basketball, defensively and offensively. In our mind, inside our circle, we believe that we're the best team in this league. We're young, but at the same time, we're very competitive. We have passion. In order to build a championship team, you have to have that mentality from the start.
What do you think this road trip? In fact, you were there in San Antonio also, but when I was doing the Spurs, they always liked, believe it or not, liked in quotations, the rodeo road trip, because you're just stuck there with each other for 11 days. Did you ever draw any correlation between what they went to and what you saw in San Antonio, what you just went through?
Not at all. I mean, I played for 25 years. 28 years professionally. That was our mindset when I played, to go on the road and build a sisterhood, a foundation that's solid, go into other arenas and spoil the fun for them, and go in to win. Every road trip is very important. It's very important to go at least 500 on the road and win all your home games. And that kind of puts you in position to be in the playoffs and be in a high position in the playoffs. So we always had that mindset as a player, and now as a coach, I still bring the same mindset. But the Spurs and Coach Pop have always been the best in doing that. So I guess whatever Pop's, whatever he does, I kind of do as well. He's the best of the best.
Thank you very much, Coach. Next, we're going to go to B. Terrell. Terrell, go ahead and ask your question.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you today?
Good, and you?
Doing well. So a couple of days ago, you spoke on Alicia Gray's transition back to the 5-on-5 system and understanding your spacing there, what you're trying to run. And you said that she'll be ready for the next game. So would you like to could you speak on that a little more and how she's looked so far since that game and then going and preparing for the next game? And that's the first question.
What is the first question?
Well, how does Alicia Gray look now? And what do you feel else she can do to prepare her to get back into the mode for the 5-on-5?
I think practice is the most important thing. Playing at a game rhythm. She looks good, against her teammates. It's a different flow in the game. Like I said, she'll be ready to play tomorrow and Saturday and to help our team be successful. Alicia is a professional athlete. She understands her role. She understands my expectations of her, and she understands. But she has a higher expectation of herself. What I said is no surprise to her. It's just a surprise to you, whoever, the media, because they don't know the expectations of her as a player and as a elite marquee player, So she'll be fine tomorrow.
Okay, and to follow up on that, before the season, you stated that your goal was to make her one of the best two-way players in the league. So seeing that she was a player who maybe went around 1 for 5 in that game and not maybe had the amount of attempts as other players and to allow them to fit or roll into that system, do you feel like a little more time playing actually in-game scenarios would have helped her instead of possibly benching her for less than 10 minutes?
It's not about benching. If you notice, she picked up 2 quick fouls. At the time, the players that were in were the best players at the time to be in. I don't not play her. I'm one of her biggest fans. So if she's not in the game, it's a reason why she's in the game. She's not in the game. It's not anything personal. It's just a matter of the flow of what we're trying to do. And at the time, you know, it's the best thing for our team. And if you look at our team, we have a 12-man roster. If you look behind Gray, you have KT. KT is her backup 3 in that position. And so it's a matter of who's playing well and who's going to get the job done and what's best for us as a team. And we all making sacrifices. The whole team is making sacrifices. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Next, we're going to go to Ron Thulin. Ron, go ahead and ask your question.
Vicki, Reagan is listening. For some reason, she can't talk. So when I ask questions, it could be for Coach, okay?
Okay.
You look at Minnesota, so unlike a Cheryl Reeve team, decimated with injuries and all of that. Give me your assessment of Minnesota.
That Minnesota will not be the team that we saw last night versus Chicago. They will come in ready, focused defensively, and allowing their defense to dictate their offense versus their offense dictating their defense. She wasn't very pleased with their defense last night, so we have to be prepared of getting open and really taking care of the basketball and being in attack mode on both sides of the basketball. Cheryl's an excellent coach. Her team will be well prepared, and we will be well prepared. So it's going to be a great game tomorrow night.
Top 3 keys for you tomorrow. Obviously, take care of the basketball, but okay, I think Reagan's audio works. She just texted me. But, we're working this, Coach.
Okay.
Give me your top 3 keys for the game.
Rebounding the basketball, protecting the paint, and then attacking and transition.
I think Reagan's there now.
Yep, Reagan, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, VJ.
Hey, Reagan, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Kind of non-basketball related question, and just talk about the league and what you feel like it means to you as a coach, as a woman of color that grew up in this league, and how they're honoring Juneteenth with the playing of the Black National Anthem, and how you feel like, is that something the players are talking a lot about, and how can we communicate that on air for the team?
Well, it's Juneteenth is huge. It's an honor for all of us,
Yes.
even the non-Black. It's an honor, especially in a dominant league, 85% Black. Of color, so I think it's huge. And the WBA means everything for me. Like I said earlier, in all my interviews, I had a choice to go to the ABL, and I chose the WBA because what it stood for, what I knew that it would be 25 years later, the opportunity for young women to play in this league and be successful and have a choice to play overseas or just stay in the States and just play in the States and play in the best league in the world. By far, this is the best league in the world. Make no mistake, I respect the EuroLeague, I respect Russia, but this is the best league in the world with the best athletes in the world. And if you're not able to play game in, game out, you will get lost.
Yeah. Yes. Preach,
Very
preach,
competitive.
preach, preach.
This league is very competitive, and by no means look at Minnesota record and say they're 4-6, and look at our record and say we're 5-6. We're better than that, and throughout the season, you'll see that progress.
Yeah.
The chemistry, the working of both clicking on both sides of the basketball. Later in this season, teams going to separate in a sense. It's going to separate
Sure.
in Minnesota,
Sure.
and Dallas will be there at the top.
Awesome. Okay, one last question. What's a matchup that you're really looking forward to, whether the challenges that it presents or the confidence that it presents for you guys?
It's weird, and most people probably wouldn't even think of this, but I'm excited for Bella and Charlie, because the reason being they just faced Brittany,
Yep.
different, and then Liz from Las Vegas is different. Now
Yep.
Sydney Fowl is a true 5. She's not giving up her space.
Nope.
You want the deep seals, she's going to do everything right. She's very she understands.
Oh, sorry, Coach.
She understands the game, and she's going to do what she wants to do. You're not going to speed her up. She's going to play. She's going to play at her pace. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for Bella and Charlie to see something different, in a sense.
She's pretty phenomenal. Awesome. Thank you, Becky. Good luck.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach. Next, we're going to go to B. Terrell. Terrell, go ahead and ask your question.
All right, one more question. You spoke on with the league obviously being primarily of 85% or more Black players, and what the league stands for, and obviously in the bubble last year, the work around social justice, police reform, and the Say Her Name campaign. Recently, there was a campaign announced by the Dallas Wings, the Blocks for the Blue, donating money to the Arlington Police Foundation on behalf of the Jim Ross Law Group. Obviously, that didn't catch a lot of that didn't set well with a lot of the fans supporting the league and even some of the players. What were your thoughts when that was announced as a Black woman, and the support that your organization is willing to donate funds to a police organization?
To be honest, I heard about it. I still don't have enough information on it, so I don't really want to speak about it.
Okay, well, so your initial feelings, was there anything that didn't sit well with you?
Well, I didn't have enough information, because by the time my personal PR person saw it, it was down. So I just didn't have enough information on it, to be honest, to speak about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Coach. Guys, thank you for joining us today, Coach. Just 1 second. Thanks again for joining us today, Coach.
Thank you.
Next, we're joined by Wings forward Kayla Thornton. If you have any questions for Kayla, please use the raise your hand feature, and we'll go in the order that the questions are received. First, we're going to go to Haley McGoldrick. Haley, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Kayla. Obviously, this is a super important matchup coming up against the Lynx that are a strong team and probably stronger than their record says. But also just, this is a Commissioner's Cup matchup, and it kind of seems like that was something that was introduced and then kind of went away when the season began. Is that something that resonates with you guys when you're going into those games, knowing that there's that, extra pressure on these types of games, or do you just not really think about it?
Hey, one sec, KT. I think Coach muted the mic. So if you could just unmute that for me or hit the space bar, that'd be great. Perfect. Thank you.
To be honest with you, I don't think we go into the game thinking about that. I think after the math, once we kind of sit down and talk about stuff, we like, oh dang, well that was a Commissioner Cup. So I mean, we really don't think about it. We just kind of go into the game, with our game plan, preparing to win and stuff like that, and then we'll, everything else takes care of itself.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Ron Thulin. Ron, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Kayla.
Hey, Ron.
Look forward to finally seeing you again. What was the hardest part of living with 11 teammates and coaches and living in hotels? What was the hardest part of that trip?
It wasn't too hard. Because we all have our own rooms. So once we got done with what we had to, we kind of just separate our own ways. So nothing was really too hard. It was just kind of, I would say, like the time difference and the traveling and stuff like that. And then the two places we went to were just super, super hot. So I would just say the time difference going from Seattle, then Phoenix, then Las Vegas. So the time difference.
Super hot, kind of like Dallas today.
Yeah.
Okay. Coach made a great point, and I know Reagan's probably going to follow up on this. Everybody has sacrificed on this team. Is that the first time since you've been part of the Dallas Wings that you've seen the entire team pretty much say, "Work for team, not for self"? Do you like this new attitude that the team has taken?
Oh, absolutely. At the end of the day, it's about sacrifices, Ron. It's about doing what you have to do for the team. And for me, that's a big thing. Like I always say, I'm willing to do anything, the little things, just to get us to where we need to be. And that takes sacrifices. And I think we're doing a good job with that this year and understanding that. And it's gonna pay off. You might not see it right now in the making, but it too shall come. So absolutely.
Next, we're going to go to Reagan. Reagan, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, KT. Sorry I can't have my camera on, but so matchups tomorrow with Minnesota. I feel like the length that they have on the perimeter, from a Nafisa to a Bridget Carlton and so on and so forth, you guys match up really well with them. And depth is, I think, clearly in your advantage. What are some of the strengths that you feel like you guys can specifically bring into this game? And is there a specific matchup you're looking forward to?
I think, we have also, like Minnesota, they kind of have a big lineup where they have Dantes at the 4, then Collier, not Collier, sorry. Nafis at the 3. But for us, we have a big lineup too that we could put anybody in. And I think our depth, especially at the 4 position, and then, me moving to the 3 and stuff like that kind of helps and stuff. And no, not really. Whatever assignment Coach VJ has me to do, then I'm gonna prepare to my fulfillers and, do what I can for my team.
Awesome. Thanks, KT. Love watching you play.
Next, we're going to go to B. Terrell. Terrell, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Kayla. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good.
All right. So earlier you spoke about doing the little things.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that you are one of the toughest players in the league. It's no surprise. Sometimes we see you diving for the loose balls. So obviously after the games, what does recovery look like for you? And how do you kind of decompress after such a tough game, every game that you play, to kind of get yourself prepared for like the next game?
I kind of just, go back to my room, feel myself. sometimes it's hard to eat, just depending on how my body is, but just trying to make sure I put the right things in and kind of just recover, chill out and just relax, because probably the next morning we're traveling or we have to wake up and, do it all over with practice, stuff like that. So making sure I put the right stuff in my body, that'll help it kind of recover.
So
Wait,
last season obviously was a different type of season, in the bubble, games like sometimes every other night. Were there any self-care practices that you may have used in the bubble? Maybe it was reading, yoga, music, meditation that has kind of carried over for you this season that you'll think you probably keep?
No, not really. I kind of keep the same thing, every year. Probably I'm probably reading more and stuff like that. But other than that, my routines kind of, stay the same on what I do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today, KT. I know you got to get back to some of that recovery process right here. So thanks again for giving us your time. Guys, if you just give us a second, we'll be right back with Charlie Collier. Thanks, y'all.
I got this on. That's cool. That's a shirt. Oh.
Next up, we are joined by Wings center Charlie Collier. If you have any questions for Charlie, please use the raise your hand feature, and we're going to go in the order at the question. Ron, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, Charlie, you have Brittany, then you have Liz, now you have Sylvia Fowles. You got a big smile on your face, but Vicky said that she's looking forward to you and Bella to see how you handle this challenge. How are you approaching it?
Same way I handled, when we played Brittany and we played Liz, heavy hitters, best posts in the league. And so it's a challenge for me and Bella, but we're looking forward to the challenge. We're going to play the best that we can. We're the only fives on the team, so we got to come with it, each and every game. Even though if it is Fowles, Liz, or BG, just got to come with it.
What have you seen from Sylvia? Because those of us that have watched her entire career, she doesn't give up space. She doesn't make mistakes per se. What have you seen in tape that maybe you go, wow, that's pretty good?
Literally, you can't move her. You got to kind of almost be like we like to use the word slippery, kind of use our length to try to get around, move her. But she doesn't give up space. Like you said, she doesn't give up space. Very smart. IQ is through the roof. Just a vet player. Us having, a young, between me and Bella, we got to be really smart, because she knows all the moves. She's been in the game. She knows what she's doing. While we're out there, probably we can pick up on some of her moves, but just more than anything, just got to be slippery and play good defense on her for sure.
Heck of a learning experience, isn't it? Going up, 1, 2, and 3 right in a row like this.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm having the time of my life. I'm learning. I'm getting to know everything. It's my rookie year. I'm taking it all in. Playing BG, playing Liz, playing Fowles coming up tomorrow. Back to back to back, but definitely going to learn a lot from all this.
Thank you very much. Ron, do we have any other questions for Charlie? All right, next we're going to go to B. Terrell. Terrell, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Charlie, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing well. I wanted to talk about the Blocks for the Blue campaign that was promoted by the Dallas Wings, obviously in the middle of a lot of social justice issues, the cry for social justice reform. As a Black woman, how did that make you feel, especially coming off of a season where the league was very firm in its stance about Black Lives Matter and racial justice, Say Her Name campaign? So once again, as a Black woman, how did it feel for you to see that a team that you're a part of sponsored that campaign, donating funds to the Arlington Police Foundation?
Our organization actually talked to us about it. Don't want to know too much about it, but our organization took care of it and spoke to us about it, and they got it handled.
And initially, what were your feelings? Did you feel kind of more like a slap in the face that, wow, what initially went through your mind?
Well, I just, that next day when we found out about it, Greg got on the call with us in Zoom and talked to us about it. I wasn't on social media that night. I guess when it posted, I know we took it down. That's pretty much all I know about it. I guess just that's all I could say about that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions for Charlie? All right, well, thank you very much for
Thank you.
going to be right back here tomorrow, an hour before game time. That is 6 p.m. Central with head coach Vicki Johnson. Thanks again and see y'all tomorrow.